news. Iran and Saudi Arabia announced today that they are normalizing relations. Now, these talks between Saudi Arabia and Iran have been taking place in Beijing, and China's communist regime brokered the talks and now helped to solidify once again relations between these two rivals. There have been no diplomatic relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia since 2016, and we've had talk in recent months, but especially in recent days, by none other than Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about Saudi Arabia joining the Abraham Accords. And then we have this curveball today with the Saudis announcing normalized relations with the Iranian regime. Folks, these were in many cases sworn enemies. Saudi Arabia considers itself the standard bearer for the Sunni Muslim world, and Iran, of course, considers itself a Shia superpower. Now, what happens? That's the big question, right? As this story develops, and we'll dig into this more next week. Number one, what happens to the Abraham Accords? Does Saudi Arabia still join with Israel and normalize relations with Israel? Is Israel surprised about this announcement today between Iran and Saudi Arabia? That's number one. Number two, not a question, but a statement of fact here, folks. China considers itself a big winner in this situation, or the big winner. They just brokered the normalization of relations between two rivals. Again, they hosted these talks in Beijing, and you see an end around the United States. In the past, when there were peace talks, the U.S. was usually the broker. What this shows you on the part of Saudi Arabia is they just don't trust. Saudi's leaders just don't trust the Biden administration, and that's why they're getting closer to the regime in Beijing, to the regime of Vladimir Putin as well, and that's why they're saying, perhaps this is a good time to make peace with the Iranian regime. America is weakened under its current leadership. There's a vacuum in the Middle East, and we're kind of out on an island here. We're threatened by this Iranian axis. Perhaps we should try to patch things up with the